Yeah, what a week. Look, Lime said, oh, that's fine. Hey, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If anyone's like, what is she talking about? We'll go over it in a second. Any situations like this are not something to crash out over. You don't need to act like somebody's dying. Nothing like insane is happening here. TLDR, if anyone did not see, Matara and VShojo just announced something, which I have known about for a while. Let me pull over a tweet. I don't want to paraphrase. I'd rather read it off than paraphrase. It's not a graduation. Let's keep our heads cool. Even if someone were graduating, you should still keep your head cool. I've said that before. Like, the person behind it is making a decision that they want to make or that they want to do when someone graduates. This is not a graduation. So I'm talking about like other separate stuff. You should just support them. That's all. You just support them, so that whatever they're doing, they can feel good doing, right? In this case, this is not a graduation. This scenario is different. She said, VShojo made the decision to part ways with me on March 6th, effective May 5th. So I've known about this since a bit ago. I thank the girls plus Kuro for the great times we had together and the wonderful moments we shared in the last about 18 months. Has it been that long for her? I think yeah. Damn, yeah, she joined right after me. She says, I wish the remaining talent in VShojo the best of luck in their activities. I love them very much, and I will carry on being their bug auntie. I will continue streaming as Matara Khan because I am Matara Khan, and I hope the momos can still cheer me on, even if I won't be Matara Khan of VShojo. That's what Mata posted on Twitter. You can ask questions, I guess. I don't know what to say. I'm like trying to think about what I should say. I mean, there you go. There you have it. Pretty much. Yeah, she's going to be leaving the company. I want to make something really clear. VShojo is two separate things. When people talk about it, I feel like they conflate them. There is a company, and then there's also a group of people, a group of members. The members are not the company. The company are not the members. They're two groups of people doing their things in tandem. So saying she's left, or she hasn't left yet, she's going to leave on May 5th. It means she's leaving the company. It has no anything to do with us as people, with our ability to do things with her, like as creators. It doesn't affect any of that. It doesn't at all. Yeah. It's not a divorce, right? It's not like we can't do anything with her or anything like that. This company, VShojo, they sign us on, and then if you want out or they want you out or either way or whatever goes down or you choose not to renew or you choose to this, what there are like a million and one reasons why this could happen. But if any of those happen, it just means you, the talent, and the company no longer have a relationship. That's it. It doesn't have to do with anything else. There's no social impact between the members. Not saying that people won't like feel sad. Of course, there's that social impact, but there's no bearing on what we can and can't do with each other, right? So I want to make that clear because I think a lot of people hold this company up next to other ones with very different business models, but it's not like that. That's all. So yeah, she just, as of May 5th, won't be under contract with the company. There you go. There's no effect on like her brand. I've seen some people freaking out thinking that like something's changing with her, but no, like she can hit go live anytime and stream just as she always has. What's going to happen is the badge on Twitter next to her name with the V and having VShojo in her name, those will leave. She won't be in the Twitch team. They won't like post her on the VShojo YouTube. It's stuff like that, you know, like the most basic of things. Not the Twitter badge. She's gonna lose her premium. You get free premium when you're part of one of the brand accounts. It's actually kind of nice. That's really like what you're gonna see happen, and that's kind of it. I can't really think of like anything else on the laundry list. Like just like she won't have it in her bio. I don't know if it's written in her bio. She won't have like a VShojo email. Like you know what I mean? It's all the simple stuff like that. Will they have to repaint the Senpai Squad car? Actually, I don't know. Wait, that's a good question. I didn't think of that. What's going to happen, right? Over time, we're just gonna like realize little things and we're like, oh man, all this, all that. Yeah, I don't like this. You said no Mata in the VShojo collabs, Sag. Not necessarily. We have VShojo collabs sometimes that are like only members, but for the most part, we almost always invite people who are not in the group to a lot of things that we do. So I don't even like. There will probably be collabs that are all members plus her. Like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that will happen. Has the term graduation even been used here? No, it's not a graduation. Because a graduation is when a VTuber's like the IP is being retired essentially, or similar, or sometimes the person themselves are entirely stopping streaming as well. Yeah, full sunsetting, right? She's not doing that. She's just not going to be under contract with this company. VShojo is an exclusive. It can be. This exclusive isn't the right word there, but I get what you're saying. They don't own our stuff. They don't own our IPs. If the person leaves the company, the character also leaves the company with them. because that person owns the character. So that's totally fine. As for exclusive, you know, contracts and exclusivity, whatever, I'm assuming most people probably are exclusive, which means you sign on saying, I'm not going to also sign on with other companies. That's what exclusive would mean. That's different. But as far as ownership, yeah, I can't give like contract details, so I'll just describe generally how it tends to work. You license what you own and your IP to them. You retain ownership so that they can use it where appropriate or in certain cases that you agree to them being able to use it. There's a lot of stuff I can't answer. I said this in the Discord, but I want to make this really clear so people don't press people. I don't want anyone pressing members too much for answers that they can't give. I don't know what anyone else is going to say about anything. We're not like putting together our heads on here's exactly what I'm going to say. It's just, you know, whatever they want to say. But we are under strict NDAs and contracts, so we can't always answer every question that people ask. There might be some things that you ask and I can't say that because it means I have to tell you a contract detail, or I can't say that because it means I have to say a certain type of thing that I just can't, you know, and there's stuff like that we just might not be able to answer. That's just how it's going to be. So, you know, if someone's like not answering a certain question or something, don't be like, oh, they're not answering, and freak out and start pressing people for answers. They might just not be able to. That's all. Yeah, that's what a contract is. Exactly. This is all stuff that people agree to up front. So, you know, none of this is like a new thing or anything like that, you know? But yeah, what I said on Discord was, at least for my community, I ask that you keep discussions civil, don't start speculating wildly, be normal. She'll keep her IP, as per usual with any VShojo member that leaves, because you've seen that happen before, and they keep their IP. It's the same scenario. So people were assuming it might be different because when she appeared, when Matara debuted, she did so under VShojo, but it's still the same as anyone else who joined when they had their IP first and then joined in. Same scenario with her where she owns everything. That's all hers. And like I said, her relationship with the company or brand has zero bearing on her relationship with the members. Anything between her and the company, and whether she's with the company or not or whatever, has nothing to do with whether she's with us or not socially, or like our friendships, or what we can and cannot do together content-wise even. Like all of that, those two things are separate and have no effect on each other. You know? So just want to make that super, super, super clear. I just ask that you support her. You know, she's a person, she's a streamer, and she's going to keep being a person and a streamer, and she's going to keep being Matara. And you just support her. That's it. I will say, I don't want to see any of you motherfuckers being like, it's not the same if she's not in the group. And then like, being like, I'll go to dip. If I see that, you weren't a fan of hers to begin with. I don't want to hear it, okay? If you're a fan of hers, you support her. That's all. Okay. Yeah, let me scroll up. Does she have any questions? She mentioned that the decision was made on March 6th as a bit of time between decision and announcement. Yeah, I mean, in what world would they be like, here's the decision. Okay, let's do this next week. That's not enough time to separate out all the business you have to separate out to have a proper exit. It's like impossible. You need at least a month, and even that's a little quick. You need a lot of time to do like a wind down. Someone said, so you are contractors? I'm not going to go exactly into the nature of our contract specifically, but it's very similar. Yeah, it basically, we license some things out, and then we're not contractors. It's almost like, in a way, like we contract their services. Like in a way, like they do work for us, right? Yeah, they're a service provider, exactly. So I have a manager who I work with. They can help me with merch if I ask them to. They can help me with some different things, and that service is something I'm sort of contracting out from them in a way. I wouldn't always use the word contracting there because of the exact way the contract is written, but like, you know, that's sort of how it works. So, will we still have hag collab streams? Nothing like that's going to change. Any prediction as to what bad VTuber thing will happen for the remaining 2 days of April? I hope nothing. You know, I knew this was all coming up, and then when everything else happened this weekend, I was like, oh, what a weekend. like I knew, you know, I was like, ooh, I thought this was going to be the only thing happening, you know? So I was like, oh man, it's going to be rough for everyone. And then it was like, you know, that came in with a steel chair too. So I was like, okay, here we are, you know? Would you say, why are NDAs so strict? The NDA is so strict. I get it's common, it makes sense, but can't put words to exactly why. I think it's standard that NDAs are like, hey, here are different types of information. Here's how you identify what is what type of information, and anything within these types of information you can't say. It's just pretty normal. It protects all parties and each side of any contract. This isn't just in entertainment, but in business and everything. NDAs are for proprietary information. They're for not letting things get out too early, so your marketing isn't messed up, because timing is important on that. There may be some things about your operations you don't want someone to know. So a lot of like companies will, like, let's say you work in tech. Obviously, you can't take how your company functions and every little thing, and here's the work we've done, and just give that to another company. You can't. In return, there will sometimes be things that the company can't say about you, or can't do, etc., etc. Sometimes they're one way, sometimes NDAs are one way. They're all different types. All you can usually say about them is that you have an NDA. And then when someone asks you something that you can't answer, you just point and tap the sign. You're like, here's why I can't do that. But you don't really talk about the nature of it. So that's really what it is. But yeah, like our contracts and NDAs make it so that we can't talk about certain things. And that's just it. Because sometimes to explain something, we might have to tell you like a ton of background information and a ton of context that you shouldn't really have. You know what I mean? So then in those cases, it's better to just not say like much relating to it, because sometimes giving partial info is worse than giving no info. When you give them one factoid, but they're still missing a lot, their brain starts to try and fill things in with whatever they can assume, and that can be a lot worse. So NDAs tend to be a bit more blanket because that situation usually gets really out of hand. So that's why I'm just here like to clarify. If you got questions, you got something going on, you want to know something, like I'll tell you if I can or not. Have you had a chance to talk with Bug Mom? Oh, I've been talking to her. Absolutely. Always checking in. We've always been close. And yeah, absolutely. Also, I just wanted to remind everyone, like everyone in this industry deals with that kind of thing. So don't harass them for answers. Just, whoever's going to say whatever they're going to say, that's what you're going to get. I thought VShojo was a company run by the talents though. No. We don't own the company. We don't drive the company. There are staff. That's why I was saying when people talk about VShojo, they tend to conflate the members and the corpo side of the company. We don't own it. We don't drive it. That's not us. It's an agency. It's a talent management company, and there are staff, and the decisions of what happens within the company at the end of the day belongs to them. Doesn't mean we can't talk to them about things, but I'm just saying none of us have a position where we can legally overrule or something like that. You know what I mean? So you're saying run by the talents is not literally like that, So, just letting you know that's where that comes from. I think what you're thinking of is a talent cooperative, which there are plenty of examples of. A talent cooperative is when they come together and they form something, and then the talents who formed it are also the owners, and all business decisions do go through them in some way. VShojo is its own separate company that staff license our IPs to them, and we have contracts with them, and we work with them. You said as a general question. Okay, general question. If someone leaves the company, assuming under good terms, if circumstances change, are they able to come back? There is no legal reason why that couldn't happen, to my knowledge, to my understanding. Now, would that happen? I don't know. Maybe not. If someone wanted to, they could absolutely entertain it. Yeah, there's no mechanical reason why that couldn't happen. Yeah, if it makes sense. Exactly. How's it feel being the unofficial public liaison of VTuber? Hey, I'm glad that people come to me to ask questions about a lot of different things. That's cool. At the same time, I'm one person and I'm speaking from my own experience. Okay. I guess it technically doesn't matter that Mata leaves to us. It's just that I liked the team and I like the idea that you're all working towards similar goals, which is sort of an abstract thing to be sad about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it is for me too. I feel the same way. I feel exactly the same as that comment, right? It is the idea of it, but I know functionally nothing really changes, but I still like the idea of it. I like being able to say this is my member in this group or whatever, even if that doesn't functionally change anything, right? I love that. And that's what I was saying. I was no one wants to not be doing that with their friends, but you have to prioritize, your business decisions. You have to. The business has to prioritize itself too. Everyone has to prioritize those things first, and then that kind of stuff comes second. Do you think Mata will have an easier time or more difficult time being successful after VShojo? I don't think it'll affect it. The reality is VShojo's never really built itself up as a brand that is super separate from us and has its own separate fan base from us or something like that, or that's a blanket over us, an umbrella over us like that. It's made up of our own fan bases, and it's made up of our own communities. So I don't think that will be much of an issue. There might be some people, I was saying this earlier, if you're her fan, you're going to support her, that's it. There might be some people that will be I was only checking out certain people because they were in the same brand as you. She's still my friend though, so I still hope you would offer her the same grace, whether there's the brand name on it or not, the same way I hope you'll offer any of my friends that grace, right? So, but again, I think for the most part, the way our communities interact with each other, it's more about they check out communities of the people that we do a lot of collabs with, not necessarily just because they're in your company, I'm going to watch them. They don't really do that. There's a little, but not much. And I think most companies, honestly, there's a lot of that, so she'll be fine.